Well, in general, as a European politician and as Europe as such, I think we have to be concerned about the situation of human rights anywhere in the world, at home, in our own countries, but also elsewhere. Because human rights should be the basis of our foreign affairs and development cooperation, but especially also on foreign affairs. And when it comes to Mexico, I mean, the European Union has had a global agreement with Mexico since, I think, 2000, and has long-standing relationships with Mexico. So human rights should be an important part of that, and not just focusing on trade, for example, or economic interaction. And I mean, the recent events in Mexico in the last year have, I think, called the attention of many people who are not that interested in Mexico usually, or who may think of Mexico as a beautiful country, which it is, yeah, and good food and great people and good music and so on. But many people found out that there is a grave problem concerning human rights in Mexico. It was the case of the 43 students of Ayotzinapa in Iguala who have been disappeared, and who until now, it's not clear yet what really has happened. And the people who supposedly perpetrated that, probably murders or at least disappearances, have not been on trial yet. And there are some, but some say that they have done it, but it's not clear which structure of police or of public officials has been involved there. Yeah? And the government is saying, well, it's just a local issue. It was just the mayor and his wife of Iguala. But what we know from other human rights violations in Mexico, that's not the case. There is a very intricate network of parts of police, of parts of public officials, of parts of politicians, not everybody of course, yeah, but very much linked to sometimes organized crime, linked to drug trafficking and other criminal activities, and that has to be clarified. And there, in the debates we have now about the modernization of the global agreement with Mexico, that should be an important part. And as a European parliamentarian, who is I'm a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I very strongly support it. And we also would want to have a modernization of the global agreement, in part because since 2009, since the Lisbon Treaty, the European Parliament, for any of these international agreements, has the right to say yes or no at the end. Yeah? So this is an empowerment has been of the European Parliament. And the other part is that I think, and in my political group, the Greens, we think that, and some others in the Parliament as well, if we do this modernization of the global agreement, it has to have two parts essentially in it. One is a very robust human rights impact assessment, a very robust human rights mechanism. And the other one is that after the scandals around LuxLeaks, which was the scandals about European member states' governments giving great deals to multinational companies not to pay taxes. I think if this agreement will be modernized and if financial services are to be in it, we need a very strong leveling up of how banks are to deal, and not to offer sort of deals for companies not to pay taxes. Because also the income of taxes is needed in order, for example, to build schools, in order to deliver to the public in Mexico. So that's the two things we want with the modernization of the global agreement.